Yeah, hello, good day everyone. Today we are starting our first course of lecture Python. So before going with Python, let me tell you a bit why we are choosing this language. Before going to Python, we have made a simple note on 5 Python that will let us know why we use Python, how Python is helpful for us. So let's start it. Let me check it. Okay. So what is Python actually? Python is a popular programming language. It was created by Guido van Rossum. It was released in 1991, so about 30 years ago. It is used for web development, like you people would have listened about Python Django. That is the framework for Python that is used by the web development. Then software development, it can be used to create desktop and forming software like window forms, and it can be also used to the mathematical calculations. Mostly the Python is famous about mathematical calculations because Python provides many libraries that can handle data, that can handle calculations very fast. Then we have system scripting. So what Python can do? Python can be used on a server to create web application. Firstly, like we seen here, Python can be used to develop web applications like we were talking about the Python Django. Then Python can be used alongside software to create workflows. We can use Python to create simple functions. We can use Python to create reusable components. That is actually the workflows. Python can connect database systems, like we can use databases with Python. Python can be used to handle big data. Like as discussed before, Python is useful when we are discussing like calculations, we are discussing about the data. So Python is really helpful when we have to calculate something on our data. Then Python can be used to rapid prototyping, for fast documentation. If you want to develop a demo project on any sample and you can present it, you can use Python because it is really easy, shorter, and it is fast. Then why Python? So Python works on different platforms. We don't have a dependency. We can run it on Windows, Mac, Linux, and other frameworks. Like Python has a simple syntax similar to English language. It is quite easier to use other than languages. Like we are not bound to use semicolons, we are not bound to use braces, and we can just write code like we are writing English language, and we just need to maintain the indentation. Then Python has syntax that allow developer to write program with fewer lines than more than other programming languages. Like if in C++ we are writing a program and we are doing it through 5 lines, Python can surely do it in two lines. Give me a second just. So we are back again. Then we were discussing why we can use Python. There were some reasons to use Python. Then there's a main reason Python can be treated in procedural way, and object-oriented way, or a functional way. Like it is able to use in three different ways. Like if we make an account the C language, it is quite different. It is only functional. It is procedural, but it is not object-oriented. But Python gives us all the ways. Then what is good to know for us about Python? And the most recent version of the Python is Python 3, which we shall be using in this tutorial. However, Python 2 is also not being updated with anything other than security updates. Like Python 2 is stopped on its final updates and we are only updating the securities. In this tutorial, Python will be written in text editor. We will be using text editors, or we will be using some online compilers to run Python. Then what is the main thing about the Python syntax? Other languages, Python was designed by readability. It has some similarities of English syntax, so it is easier. It uses the new lines to create a command. Like whenever a new line is created, Python thinks that for now this is done, and the Python needs to complete this command. And Python relies on indentation. What is indentation? Let me show you a sample. Like uh, sorry for the board. Suppose we have this compiler. We are writing Python code. Like let me indent this compiler. So what in Python we are going to do? we are going to write a simple code that prints hello world. So in Python, what we can do? Print hello world. It's quite looking like we are writing English language. Like, and if I want to create a variable in Python, I want to initialize this variable to some value, and then I want to check conditions or conditional based output on based on that value. So we can let's write a story like take user age as input. If it's 18 plus, then show that it's adult. Otherwise child. So what we can do in Python? Let's declare a variable named age, set it to 0. Let me take input age is equal to int. Input int is converting the input from string to number. Enter your age. If age is greater than or equal to 18, we can simply write print you are an adult, else print you are a child. This is a simple Python program that we have written to achieve this case study. So you will be seeing that this Python program is quite like looking like English language, and it is really looking like an English language. But there are definitely complex programs. There are libraries that are difficult to use in Python as well as like other programming languages. But all of that is a part of the game. Time. Meanwhile, with time to time, we'll be keep discussing this. So what is this? This is our use study, case study, and this is our program. This is our case study, and this is our program. Thought I think you will got familiar with this. Let us end it here. Control V, Control V. So from our next lecture, we will discussing the next topic. But for now, this is all. Thank you so much. Post your questions, please, and we'll be sharing our email address, phone numbers with you. You people can contact us directly for the information. Thank you.